Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Apostle channel, where my passion is directed toward helping middle-aged people overcome the fear of leaving behind your six-figure job to start a business. Along the way, this journey, I have tried and tried all different types of things. And Turo, a ride sharing platform that allows you to rent your personal vehicles out on a platform such as a Turo, so you're like having your own rental car company, was a business that I started participating in June 26th of 2022, when I originally started off with three new Ford vehicles. And before it was over, a few months later, I purchased five more. And, it looked like it appeared as if the business was growing. And so I was doing that. And, like I said, a year's gone by, and, the math just doesn't add up. It does not add up to this being a profitable business for anybody. I've lost a whole boatload of money. I've lost a lot. I've lost a lot of money, and I continue to stick it out because it was the first business that I had, actually started that was actually generating some income. Like, there were deposits that came from Turo, which was, one of the things that I was happy about. Actually, a business that I did that, came from nothing. And I did manifest, purchasing a total of 8 cars to put on the platform. And, I grew as far as collateral and different things that I purchased for the business. So, I was building up building up some type of inventory for the business, which is what I'm doing now, is making some transitions out of how to make lemonade out of these here lemons. So today I just wanted to come and talk too, because it took me a while to get up the courage to say that, that I have thrown the towel in on this Turo platform. And I feel like I want to continue to, speak out against it to perhaps save someone some emotional stress that could be delayed by not looking at this as a good business. So today I'm going to go over 5 pros and 5 cons of this whole Turo opportunity that's out there. And like I said, for those of you who don't know, this Turo ride sharing platform is somewhat new. It's not all, it's all over, it's worldwide. However, it's bigger in some cities and states than it is others. And I'm here in Montgomery, Alabama, which is kind of a medium-sized city here. And some of the pros and cons of being in a small city. And I'm going to have to ask you guys to hold 1 second. I've got this. Cough drop. Okay, here we go. So it's going to be a quick video. Like I said, I wanted to continue to talk about this because I'm making the course changes again on this here platform. Platform got started because I wanted to document my journey on being an entrepreneur. And y'all can see, you look back on this channel, I've done a few things. And this Turo was the first thing that actually was able to put me out there, actually a working business and stuff like that. The only negative was that Not the only, there's going to be more. Let me start off with the pros. All right, number one pro is the extra income. Turo allows you to turn your idle cars into source of passive income by renting out your vehicles to others. You can earn money when you're not using them, which is true. That's true that you do rent your vehicles out and Turo deposits money into your account. All right, number two, the flexibility. As a Turo host, you have the flexibility to set your own schedule and decide when your cars are available to rent. This this makes it convenient for those who have other commitments or a full-time job. Now, in the beginning, when I first got started with Turo, I was not working, so I was putting 100% of my time into the Turo business. I had two pickup drop-off spots, which was one was at the airport, and another one was a shopping mall very close to my home where I would park the cars at. And I was doing deliveries too. In the beginning, I was doing all of that stuff, and I was getting bookings. However, it says it's flexibility. I guess this is part of a con. um, Really, when you do utilize that flexibility option, especially like I had went back to work in March, so my availability drastically changed, and I did notice a huge hit in my bookings because of my availability, which I was um, focusing it around my job, and really not as much because I was still leaving my availability out there. I did shorten the hours. At first I was available 24/7, and I saw how I was having airport pickups. People weren't coming there until one time it was 2 in the morning waiting up on for a guest to come in and stuff. So yeah, flexibility could be a pro or a con. And number three, wide market reach. Turo operates in numerous cities and countries, providing access to a broad customer base. This exposure can increase the chances of getting bookings, especially in popular tourist destinations. Number four, innovative insurance coverage. Turo offers insurance coverage for hosts and renters, providing protection against physical damage and liability claims during the rental period. And number five is for the pros. It says vehicle selection. As a host, you can offer a variety of vehicles in your fleet, catering to different types of renters and potentially attracting more customers with diverse preferences. All right. And I'm going to come back and elaborate on those pros in just a moment, but I do want to go ahead and take this time to read over these cons. Number one, high operating cost. The cost of insurance, maintenance, cleaning, and unexpected repairs can significantly eat into your earnings, making it a challenge to maintain profitability. And this was one of my biggest problems. Biggest problems was all of the outgo and the cleaning. The cleaning, because you're pretty much having to detail, at least I was detailing the cars back after every trip because, I took pride in my 5-star ratings and how people would say how clean the cars were and stuff. So I really did a lot to make sure that the cars were clean. I took pride in that. Number two, for the cons, time consuming. Managing a Turo business can be time consuming, especially if you have multiple cars. Coordinating key exchanges, cleaning, and responding to renters' inquiries can take up a considerable amount of time. And this is true, right? Because if you're the one washing the cars, You're the ones taking the cars to the drop spot. You're the one taking the pictures of the cars. You're the one making the key exchange. Even though I was doing mine with the remote access, where I was just opening it up on my phone, I still had to be awake, alert, and oriented to be able to check the guests to make sure that they were the right people that I was opening the car up to. It takes time. It takes up your time. And then, not all the time, but, a good amount of the time, the people would be late to come there to pick up the car. Sometimes they'll be late dropping the car back off. And if you're trying to juggle and coordinate this stuff because, you've got a life too, you've got things to do, that could be a big con. And it was for me. Cleaning, that's why towards the end, I had stopped with the 1-day rentals, because people would trash the cars up just as much as if they had them for a week. And I still have to do the total detailing of the vehicles. And, they only had it out for a day. So it was definitely time consuming. Number 3, risk and liabilities. Renting your personal vehicle to strangers come with inherent risk. Accidents, damages to your cars, or disputes with renters can lead to potential financial and legal liabilities. And all of these things came true. It's not if, but it's when someone gets into an accident into your car. It's not if, but when someone returns your car late. It's not if, but when someone trashes your car, pukes in your car, leaves behind tons of weed in your car. These things will happen, and they will happen. Number 4, competition. And this here was very pertinent for me. Competition, depending on your location, the Turo market can be highly competitive. Saturated markets may result in reduced booking rates and lower profit margins. And that's exactly what happened. When I first started with Turo over a year ago, there were 22 cars on the platform, and 3 of them were mine. And so when I grew within a few months and added 5 additional cars to the platform, I was the cake. I was the one for this whole area. I was the one. I was leading the way. All of my vehicles were 22s. And now, fast forward a year later, this is 23. And 22s is old news. And now that there are way more vehicles on the platform, the prices that I was getting in the past, when someone has a 23 and they are, cutting your asking prices, by half, it's kind of makes it a challenge, makes it a tremendous challenge for you. Number 5 says depreciation and wear. This was a big thing for me because, like I said, I bought all of the cars new, and within weeks, they're putting tons of miles on there. So, when you drive a new car off of the lot, it's already going to depreciate significantly. And by it going through the hands of all these renters, when I did look off into trying to sell the cars, I was so upside down in the payment that it was it was bad. Overall, starting Turo business requires careful consideration of both the potential benefits and drawbacks. Understanding the market, managing expenses, and ensuring proper insurance coverage are essential factors to evaluate before becoming a Turo host. And I thought that I had, did some, evaluating, looking off into this before I got started, you know. But, the things that they were listing here on these cons, as far as like when the competition happens, these are things that are, not in your, you can't control it. There's nothing that you can do to control what people are doing. When the new people get on the platform and put out. And then Turo with the pricing, they trying to get the booking, so they don't care to slice your asking price down. They'll just slice because they want people to rent. They don't care. They just trying to get these guests into vehicles, and they really don't care. They really don't care. I did not feel cared for because my so-called coach didn't contact me until February, the end of February or the beginning of March. After it was the beginning of March, because I had already returned to work. I had returned to work to be able to pull myself dog pedal out of this financial devastation that I was in, because the income was not enough to cover the outgo. So I was having to, make the ends meet with my own personal money, because, I was trying to keep up with my credit. I didn't want my credit score to suffer. And, for those y'all who've been following me for a while, you know that I was priding myself in having a good credit score, and showing the importance of maintaining a good credit score was, something that I was highly, interested in. And that's why it was such a challenge for me to actually throw the towel in, because I just, I felt like I had put so much off into it, and I was really promoting it. Like, there's a ton of videos on this channel, promoting Turo, talking about how Turo was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And, here it is not that. So, and that's why I really wanted to speak out, because at first I was going to just like not say anything, because I didn't want to sound like I was sour grapes because I lost, so much. But these pros and cons are actually real. So I'm going to mention them again, but this time I'm going to kind of take a little time to go over the ones that got me. So the first one, the extra income. In the beginning, the cars were making 300 to 400 profit, right? But there was never a time where all of the cars were out there making the profits. One car would always have some kind of issue, whether it had been in a wreck or had some kind of maintenance problems where it couldn't be put out on the road. There were Ford is notorious about recalls. So when that happens, your vehicle is not allowed to be on the platform. So you're chasing behind getting all these recalls done to get it relisted again. Oh, by the time you get this one relisted, this one here has been in an accident. It needs to be out to get a windshield replaced. Oh, by the time you get that one on there, oh, this one here, the light's not working, so you can't rent it out because there's something going on with the light. So it's go back into the shop. They're taking forever there because they are short-staffed here. And so while the cars are not generating any income, the small profit that the ones that are out there generating is not enough to where it has to pay for the payment and the insurance and any other expenses of theirs. So start to run out of the extra income very quickly. And the flexibility. So the minute I started to change with my hours of operation, the listings or the bookings started to slow up. Not to say that I wasn't getting any bookings, but I showed y'all the money that was made in the last 6 months, and it definitely was not. I'm in the red. Like, to pay for these notes had to come out of my pocket, and it was because I was working and I couldn't be available 24/7. I couldn't always be available because I work 12 and a half hours. I have a commute. And if a car is returned and it takes 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours to actually detail the cars and bring them back to, being ready to be rented again, and I'm the only one doing it, so here we go. Now I have to put it on hold for another day until I have the time to get it clean. Or I pay somebody to clean it, which is definitely cutting into the profits because who's paying for it, right? all the upkeep and all that stuff is coming out of my pocket. And this wild market reach, if someone, people in different cities and countries and stuff like that, yeah, the pros are definitely not enough. And this so-called innovative coverage, you still have to pay insurance, and you still have to give Turo a cut for the insurance. It's a loss. It's a loss. The cons are tremendous. High operating costs, because most people aren't dealers. They're not getting these vehicles aren't getting purchased at major discounts. Most of the people, if you're not, if you're just a regular Joe, you're going to be buying cars at retail, or you're going to be putting your car out there that you bought at retail, right? And the time consuming, because you have to physically clean the cars, physically move the cars, physically do things with the car, is not a passive income type of work. The risk and liabilities, like I said, with the amount of people that's going to be putting hands on the car, it is just going to happen to where somebody's going to have a blowout, somebody's going to crash, somebody is going to do something that's going to have some repercussions on your vehicle. And then the competition, once more and more people get on the platform and they get pushed up to the top of the algorithm, as far as like rent, they're going to be first in the search engine, because they're new. The new listings always get first priority. And so the competition, they coming in, cutting the prices, and it makes it rough for you. And like I said, the depreciation, once all the miles and stuff is on your car, they're there. So your vehicle is going to depreciate at lightning speed, the depreciation. So in a nutshell, Turo is definitely not worth it for me. But I want to go through here and show a couple of shorts in the beginning when I was, super in love, still in love with Turo here. And then we're going to wrap it up. Okay, you know what? I'm going to show this here. It's from another Turo host, Tony, from Tony Luxury Cars. And he was talking about this here was back a little bit ago. Hold up one second. Let me do this. Okay. Tony Luxury Car is a Turo host in Kentucky. I believe it's in Kentucky.
They pay. I don't know if you know this or not, but Turo is making a killing off of you and me, off the host and the guest.
He said Turo is making the killing off for you and me, because we're both hosts at the time.
So when they book, whenever you see your receipt is different than their receipt. Their receipt is a lot more. And what I mean by that is the trip fee. Sometimes the trip fee is the same as a rental. So some of my cars at $100 a day, the trip fee is $100 a day, and that goes straight to Turo. That money don't even come to us. And then the insurance, if they do the protection plan, and whatever they pay for the protection plan, that goes to Turo. And if they don't get into an accident, it's basically like they just giving away money to Turo, for the protection plan. And then the young driver fee.
And Turo does nothing. Absolutely nothing. These are your cars that you maintain. Turo just allows you to list them on there. So people, go there to rent cars and they just go,
That's also anybody 21 to 25, that goes to Turo as well. Mm-hmm. So a person may end up paying. So like, for example, in my case, one of my cars is $100 a day. They pay. I don't know if you know this or not.
All right. So that was Tony and his grievance with Turo. And then I'm going to show one more from Stefan, who was an inspiration. Now, Stefan, Turo is just an additional stream for him. Additional stream for him. He's got other things. So I still don't think, even as an additional stream, because of the amount of hours that's required to put off into the business, it just, to me, definitely is not worth it. Definitely
be different.
Not worth it. All right, so let's go ahead and see what Tony is talking about. Not Tony, Stefan is talking about here. And I'm gonna let y'all go.
Customer service is something that's really hard to come across. Good customer service, and that's everywhere you go now. It could be fast food, it could be Walmart. Customer service is very important, and when you treat people like you appreciate their business, and not treat them like you're doing them a favor by providing them a car.
Exactly.
That goes a long way. And then also I have over 2,000 trips under my belt. So if somebody's coming from out of town and they're looking at your reviews, they're looking at your commitment rate and all those things, like my ratings are really high. So they might not be different.
Okay. And y'all know that I had a 4.98 for my reviews on the car and stuff like that. So for me, Turo is definitely not worth it. But again, like I said, everyone has to be convinced in their own spirit. I did it for a year. I know that I put a lot of energy into it. Not a lazy person. I gave 100%, and it was just not worth it for me. The cons outweigh the pros. So I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on talking about Turo. I'm just putting it out there in case anyone has any questions, because I know at one point people were, thinking they wanted, it's a great little way to make some money and stuff like that. No. So thank y'all so much for listening. Please like and subscribe, and tune in, because I'm going to be talking about other opportunities. When we're talking about credit repair, getting your credit back in line, because a whole year of me dog paddling and all that kind of stuff, my personal credit has taken a hit. And I had to learn lessons as far as like when you personally guarantee your business, that is connecting your personal credit there too. So that's another reason why it wouldn't be a smart idea to personally guarantee for this Turo business. So I'm having to really do a lot of critical thinking and put together new plays to be able to salvage that and not have it be a total negative outcome. So thank you so much. Like and subscribe, and we'll be coming back at you shortly. Peace and love.